And so it was that the once proud kingdom of Glenbrook did fall. Aesfrost seized control of the Crown City, threatening to bring the surrounding domains under its iron yoke. Now the Archduke's army marches upon House Wolfort's stronghold, where Prince Roland is being sheltered by his loyal friends and allies.
Chapter 7, Part 1, A Soul Upon the Scales. Hey guys, it's Skymer here, and welcome back to another episode of Triangle Strategy. In the last episode, we escaped from Whiteholm Castle with Roland, allowing us to make a safe retreat back to the Wolfort domain. However, in the process, it appears that Sir Maxwell was slain by Avlora and ended up with just his hat and his mask floating in the water's waves. I believe wholeheartedly that Avlora is following one of two things. I know that it's said that she was orphaned by war. And the reason why I believe that this is two different options as to why she fights is because either she does it as a way of saying, hey, you, Gustadolf, were the one to bring me under your wing when I was having such a rough past in my life. My family's gone. You took me in and showed me military training and everything, and I will do everything in my power to serve you. That's the one way that I see it. The second way that I see Avlora fighting is because Gustadolf forces her to by fear and manipulation and control. Like, that she's actually not as tough on the outside, on the inside as she is on the outside. That she is being controlled deep down by Gustadolf, because the way that he shows intimidation is on a whole other level. And I would never aspire to be under that type of ruling, if that is what it is. So, it seems like we're going to be going into just some story stuff here in a little bit, but I'm just going to make sure that nothing else is going on around the world. But Aesfrost has already started their ruling of everything, so let's figure out how this continues from here. The Aesfrosti Archduke enters Whiteholm Castle, the seat of power in Glenbrook, and lays claim to the throne.
Your most honorable siblings, Lord Thalas and Lady Erica, have arrived, my lord.
Thank you for the escort. You may go now.
If there is anything else that you require, anything at all, you need but say the word.
In that case, I would have a bottle of the realm's finest wine and a serving of fresh fruit delivered to my quarters.
But of course, milady, I shall have the servants fetch it at once.
Ever eager to please, isn't he?
I believe the word you're looking for is sycophant. Congratulations on bringing Glenbrook to its knees, brother. It's a thing of beauty, what you've accomplished. I trust you're already seeing to that fuss outside the castle walls?
Of course.
The other domains are putting up little in the way of resistance. Lord Telior trembles in his seat within the stronghold, and Lord Fawkes was oblivious to what was happening until it was far too late.
How easily the three high houses of Glenbrook break under your iron boot, brother.
Wolfort is the last to hold out, but Avlora will deal with them. Prince Roland will be in our hands before long.
Speaking of royalty, brother, I would have thought Cordelia would be dead or rotting in jail. Yet here she sits on the throne. She looks less a vanquished princess and more a queen.
That is precisely what I would have her be.
Whatever do you mean?
Once things have calmed, I shall assume guardianship over her and have her crowned. A few days hence, Regna will be executed. I've already informed Patriat as much.
So the wise and benevolent King Regna meets his end at last.
Father.
What?
Please, can someone explain?
What are we gonna do?
Excuse me.
that mean?
Can you tell me what's happening, please?
Did I hear him wrong? I don't.
What has been said?
Subjects of Glenbrook, I am Gustadolf, Archduke and High Commander of the Grand Duchy of Esfrost. Hear my words. The sins King Regna has committed against us, and against you, his own people, are grievous indeed.
What has he done to us?
3 decades have passed since the end of the war. In the years since, we have all done what we can to rebuild our nations. The opening of the Grand Norzelian mines was to be the dawn of a new age. An age where our 3 nations would work together for the peace and prosperity of all. But King Regna spat in the face of that glorious dream. As our engineers worked tirelessly to put success within reach, your King Regna schemed in the shadows to seize control of the mine for his own profit. And when Dragan Esfrost, my dear cousin, and the man tasked with overseeing the mine's operations, became aware of this plot, King Regna had him assassinated in cold blood. In doing so, he betrayed not only my own nation and the holy state of Hyzante, but you as well. The very people who were to share in the wealth the mine would bring. And so we were left with no choice but to march on Whiteholm Castle and put an end to Regna's treachery by force. Our actions were born of a righteous duty to avenge Dragan's murder and this odious betrayal of this historic accord between our nations. What say you, King Regna? Do you deny these charges against you?
I do not. But I beg of you, spare my children.
Subjects of Glenbrook, your traitor king admits his guilt before you. The punishment for these crimes is death. Off with his head!
Roland, Cordelia, the future of our kingdom is in your hands now.
Just days after the fall of the Crown City, King Regna of Glenbrook is beheaded before his subjects. The death of this kind and benevolent monarch plunges the realm into confusion and chaos. With the king perishes an all too short-lived era of peace, and in its place, one of bloodshed and turmoil.
Oh, yes. Oh, wise Gustadolf. Go ahead and continue your treachery by talking about all this stuff. Wow, look at all these green side quests we're going to need to do today. Wow. And also, Erica is just fake as shit, honestly. She's just like, oh yes, bring me fruit and bring me all and the finest wine to my room. And then as soon as Patriat leaves, she's like, ugh, does he have to do that? What a fake woman. Jeez. Talk about wanting a double standard. Good grief. And then Talus and Erica over here stroking their brother's ego, saying, oh, look at all that you've accomplished. Oh, you're so great. Yeah, I don't know what they're doing to contribute to all this besides just being Gustadolf's fan people, honestly. So Cordelia's actually still alive. She's basically just being used as probably a bargaining chip, but that's the only hope that I had. But it looks like it's different than a bargaining chip. She's going to be taken under Gustadolf's wing? I have no idea what he means by that he wants to ascend her to the throne. I feel like this is not gonna bode well, no matter what. I mean, and Patriat, like I thought from Yulio's story, he really did flee that castle and side with the enemy. I mean, I wasn't expecting it from him, to be honest, but now he is truly, as I suspected, a complete rat. That's all he is. It's all he will ever stand for. Alright, well, it seems like this is going to be quite interesting. So I think we're going to start by going back to the Crown City on this particular route. Minister Patriat, advisor to the king, conducts a covert investigation of the Crown City under pretenses of a routine inspection. But to what end?
It would seem things have calmed outside the castle walls.
What is to become of us now? Word has it the King's Guard's been slaughtered to the last man. We must flee while we have our lives.
If they meant to kill ordinary folk like us, wouldn't they have done so already? Even as frosty dogs have some honor then. Who'd have thought? Anyway, there's no point fighting. What'll be, will be.
Our people seem less resentful of Esfrost than I would have expected. No doubt due to the Archduke's decision to focus their attack on the castle and leave the town itself unscathed. So, the common folk won't be a problem. That just leaves the matter of the royal family. His Grace and the Crown Prince have been dealt with, and Princess Cordelia has been brought to heel. Prince Roland is the only one unaccounted for, but the men I arranged for hunt him down as we speak. Word has it there's also a sizable bounty on his head. No, he'll not last long. I knew Gustadolf to be a shrewd man, but his attention to detail is nothing short of astonishing. I have seen all I would. Let us return.
Oh, okay, Patriat. Okay. I see where you stand. So you're the one that's been behind all these attacks with, you know, of sending Avlora our way. What a terrible man. I mean, I think that this is really just, I mean, what is his motive? I mean, that's my question. I mean, it makes me think that he's had a longer history with Gustadolf than what any of us might have expected. I mean, because it just seems like he knew of him pretty well, but he's saying that his attention to detail is incredible. And I'm like, okay, I guess, yes, he does have a good attention to detail. He's not exactly utilizing it very well, though. Regardless, though, everyone in the royal family, aside from Roland, has been accounted for, but I do wonder, and I actually really hope that Cordelia is able to do something for herself and is able to get out of this, because, to be honest with you, I would do everything in my power to protect her. If she is going to be the last person besides Roland to, you know, have any royal blood left under King Regna's family. Alright, so the next place that we're going to go is we're going to go to the Tellior streets. Okay, Lord Silvio Tellior, head of one of Glenbrook's 3 high houses, ponders what the future holds for his domain.
Whatever is House Tellior to do? With King Regna gone, we must find a way to preserve ourselves. Landroy, that proud fool, will no doubt fight to the bitter end. But House Fawkes alone is no match for the Grand Duchy.
Yet if House Wolford were to fight at their side... They say Prince Roland is in Wolford's charge. If this is true, there's a good chance they will join the fray. Or will they? The Wolfords may choose to ransom the prince to Esfrost in return for amnesty for their own domain. If it comes to that, Esfrost will either kill the prince and princess, or use them as their pawns, and Glenbrook will fall. Bending the knee to Esfrost may be our only hope if we are to live to see tomorrow.
Okay, here's my thoughts on Silvio's whole ideal. He wants to bend the knee for Esfrost. In a way, I see his point. Okay, I really do see his point. Sometimes, if you can't beat them, join them. I understand where that quote can come into play here. I mean, they did just witness almost the entire royal family get wiped. All the Kingsguard were slain. And Roland and Cordelia are the only ones left alive. If that doesn't show some matter of strength, I don't know what does. But what I don't agree with him is that at a time like this, if all three of us were to come together, there's no denying that we could have the strength to take them on. I mean, it's 3 versus 1. And at the end of the day, Avlora is just a single person. Sure, there's people that have, I guess, gone down in medieval history for taking on, hundreds of men at once. And maybe Avlora does have that type of strength. But, I mean, we saw at the ending clip before Sir Maxwell ended up in the water that Avlora has some insane powers, very similar to that of Sir Maxwell, where they both have some sort of crazy combat prowess. However, in a sense, I believed Silvio at first, okay? I believed Silvio at first when he said, let's strengthen our defenses so in case they come for us, we will be as prepared as we can. However, now it seems like he's just wanting to succumb to Esfrost and just be like, all right, well, I guess we'll just kind of be at your side then. Which, would that label him as a traitor? I'm not entirely certain, but I'm on his side, and yet I'm not on his side. So now let's get the Falk's opinion on this. Lord Landroy Falks, King Regna's loyal bannerman since the days of the Salt Iron War, receives the news of his liege's grim fate.
Your Majesty, House Falks has failed you. I have failed you. High House, damn it all! When you needed us most, we were not there to answer the call. How did we not see what they were plotting? How did we not know to go to your aid? But no, cursing our fate will not bring you back to us. We must focus our efforts on the one who might yet save Glenbrook from downfall. We must protect Prince Roland with our lives.
Now that's what I like to hear. I would love to have support. This is how it should be. Landroy says that, that he feels terrible. I feel terrible. There's no doubt in my mind that if I just were to choose to have gone to Esfrost, maybe I would have figured out that they were planning to invade, and maybe the royal family wouldn't be dead, and this war would never happen. But how was I supposed to anticipate that? It was practically an ambush. Lord Dragan was assassinated, and then they make a surprise attack on the Crown City? How was I supposed to know any of that was going to happen? I wasn't. It was all a setup, I find. It was just all premeditated. Honestly, this all seems premeditated. based off of what Benedict was implying as well when he was having that talk with Sarah Noah about how they were planning to frame us from the very beginning, since it's one of their own kind that was murdered. It was of Frosty blood, because it was Lord Jergan, Gustadolf's cousin. However, I feel like that if the Falk's domain were to help us, I just feel like that we would need the Telior domain to just help us too, and then we would be 3 strong. The 3 high houses unite as one versus the one kingdom of Esfrost. Come on, Silvio, just work with us here. All right, now we head over to Hyzante. Hyzante's been very quiet for the past long while, so now we are going to go to the Citadel of the Sands. News of Glenbrook's fall reaches the Citadel of the Sands in the far-off holy state of Hyzante, where a great battle of the Salt Iron War was fought so many years ago.
Minister Sorsley.
What is it this time, Booker?
We've just received word that Esfrost has launched a surprise invasion of Glenbrook. Whiteholm burns as we speak.
Oh, I wasn't expecting him to be an actual character. Booker Paynorth, attendant to House End, Sorsley End's most trusted retainer. As such, his duties are many.
What's this?
The Crown City has fallen. King Regna was beheaded, and it is said Crown Prince Franny also perished in the fray. Prince Roland has fled to the domain of House Wolfort, with the Grand Duchy's army in close pursuit.
Goddess forbid. What could the Archduke be plotting? And what did the others think of the matter?
At any rate, I must speak with the Hierophant at once.
Minister, if I may assuage you, I propose that perhaps this situation may yet play to House End's benefit.
Our benefit, you say? Indeed. Indeed, you may have the right of it. My dear Booker, whatever would House End do without you?
Send a bird to the palace. Tell them that the Holy One's faithful servant Sorsley would humbly beg an audience.
At once, Master.
I don't quite know how to feel about that. How do you guys feel about that? Saying that it would work to their benefit? This both gives me a potential morale boost, because does that mean that that House End is going to be able to come over and help us? And that's why it'll work to their benefit? Or is there some sort of shady shit involved here? I mean, what? I'm just confused at the current moment. What does that even mean? It says that a bird's gonna be sent to the palace, so maybe we'll figure out something sooner than what we might expect. Okay, so now that all of those side stories are over with, we are going to go ahead and head to the main story again at the Wolfort domain. Having made their escape by boat, Saranoa and his retinue finally make their way back to the Wolfort domain. But what awaits them there?
Lord Saranoa, thank the heavens you're safe.
It is good to be home.
Castle Wolfort is the most impregnable stronghold in all the kingdom. You will be safe here, Your Highness.
Thank you. I can only hope Father and Sir Maxwell are safe as well.
Benedict, there is news.
What's the matter, Benedict? You look as if you've seen a ghost.
Your Highness, my lord, pray try to remain calm. His Grace was beheaded at the Crown City not bells ago.
Father. No. Say it is not so.
Roland.
I can only imagine what you're feeling now, Your Highness. But I fear we have not the luxury of grieving. As the last living heir to the throne, there is no doubt that the Archduke will target you next.
Indeed. We must move quickly. I would seek Father's counsel.
About Lord Simon.
What is it? Has something befallen Father? Father!
Lord Simon, what is the meaning of this?
He collapsed when he heard the news from the Crown City, and has not opened his eyes since.
You must be mad. The man was stronger than an ox.
We cannot afford to lose Lord Simon. Not now, of all times.
Father. Be strong, Father. This realm still needs you. I still need you, Father. Father.
Serenoa.
Is there any chance he will recover?
Our healers are doing everything they can, but none can say.
Very well.
Do not give up hope, Serenoa. The malady will not take your father easily.
Forgive me, Roland. I can only imagine what you feel now.
I must stay strong. I cannot allow Father's death to be in vain. You too must remain composed. For Lord Simon. And for those who now look to you for guidance in his stead.
I will try.
Pardon me, my lord. I come bearing a message.
From whom?
The scout we had sent in search of Sir Maxwell returned with this.
Sir Maxwell's mask.
Reports have it that it was found near Whiteholm Bridge.
Blood. No, it cannot be.
This mask was all that was found, you say?
The bridge was all but overflowing with the bodies of the fallen. It was not possible to ascertain all of their identities. And the swift course of the river thwarted any efforts to search further.
I see. Thank you for the report. Get some rest. You have earned it.
Yes, my lord.
Sir Maxwell, you too abandon me now?
At Gustadolf's command, Esfrost musters its forces at Whiteholm Castle and commences a march on the Wolfort domain. Their aim, to seize in their clutches Prince Roland, the unwilling heir to Glenbrook's throne.
Oh man, that was hard to watch. I mean, I feel like most people in this world have at least somebody that's not direct family to them. It could be a friend, it could be a coworker, it could be a coach, a teacher. It could be anybody that's just not direct family that you trust as if they were your family. And I believe that that's what Maxwell was to Roland. And it's just so hard to see. I wear my heart on my sleeve for Roland, and I know it's just a game, but I really do feel for him. It's just like everything's being taken from him, and he doesn't even want to be the crown prince. He just wants to live his own life the way he wants to and be with his friends and family, and now Esfrost is on our doorstep. Led by most likely General Vlora, who thinks it's okay to just murder people in cold blood without a reason. Even if there was a reason, it's not even okay at all. Oh my gosh, this game's writing is absolute perfection, but like, emotions weigh heavy, and I know that emotion should not cloud my judgment. I know that's what Benedict has told Sarah Noah, and that's what I'm living in my own heart. But just, it's a lot to process. However, I plan to keep my head held high, just as I have all this time, and just see where the story progresses. There's no other way around it. There's no other thing that we can do. We can only press forward. There's no going back. As the Esfrosty army advances on Castle Wolffort, another crisis looms large for Sarah Noah and Prince Roland.
My lord, the Esfrosty army advances on us as we speak. A missive has arrived from Lord Gustadolf. It says they will stand down on the condition that we surrender Prince Roland to them at once.
We've not much time before they're on our doorstep, my lord.
Word has it that General Avlora herself heads the vanguard.
Gustadolf's not taking any chances. The scheming bastard.
Summon the War Council at once. We must take swift action.
You cannot be serious about this.
It's all right, Frederica.
Please continue, Benedict.
Thank you. Once more, I would ask you plainly. Do we or don't we relinquish Prince Roland to Esfrost?
I say we refuse. We owe Sir Maxwell that much. Precisely. Sir Maxwell entrusted us with keeping His Highness safe, and we accepted.
There's no place in the realm more sheltered by the terrain than this castle. He is safer here than anywhere. And yet, if the Archduke were to march on us with an army as great as the one that took the Crown City, or, heaven forbid, a greater one,
the natural fortifications of this land would work against us. Our shelter would become our jail.
So you propose that we just abandon him? That we sacrifice his life for our own protection?
Better my life than any of yours. This is my battle. I would not see the blood of my friends spilt in my name.
But see, Your Highness, that's where you're wrong. House Wolffort's the sword and shield of the crown. You go to battle, we go with you. So it's always been.
Enough! I will leave before I see your domain ravaged by fighting. It is the only way. Surely you see this, yes?
I refuse to believe sacrificing any of us is the correct path.
My lord, we cannot allow war to come to the Wolffort domain. Your highest priority must be to your loyal subjects. You must decide.
Oh my gosh, don't make me do this. I cannot render a decision here and now. There must be some solution. As his vassal, I must fight to protect the prince. But as their lord, I must ensure my people's safety. We cannot hope to win against Esfrost, but if we do nothing to stop them, many will lose their lives. Oh my gosh. Oh, I don't even know where to begin with this decision. I'm not going to choose this one because Esfrost is on our doorstep. They will be any minute. I can't just say that we need more time. Frederica and Benedict, I understand both of their points. In terms of my emotional
in terms of my emotional response, it's to protect Roland. That I stick with him. He's my best friend. All I can do is imagine my best friend, somebody else's best friend, their husband, their wife, their parents, their children, someone that you truly care about being in a situation like this. What else are you going to do? And I feel like it would almost be to my disadvantage as Lord of the House to say that we're just going to step down and let the people of House Wolffort just die by the mercy of an Esfrosti army. And sacrifice is never the answer, and yet Roland's out here saying that they should just take his life. If he was so eager to do that, why did he not make that decision before? Why did he wait until this point to say, oh, now I'm just going to go ahead and say that my life is less important than any of yours? But I see Benedict's point. I mean, they're led by General of Laura, who just very probably murdered Sir Maxwell and many others. She's already showed the strength that is to be, but I mean, we've never fought of Laura in combat, and to be honest with you, she's terrifying. Oh my gosh. But I can't just let Roland just sacrifice himself, can I? I mean, what are they gonna do? They're marching on us because Roland's here. If we give it to them, there's no way that Esfrost is just gonna stop, right? They're not gonna stop when they've already done all this shit. Even if I were to bring Roland down, and I feel terrible because we could be walking all into our deaths. There's no denying it. But would I rather go out like a weenie, or would I rather go out fighting? I mean, if I were to surrender Prince Roland and just say, you know what, it's fine, you know, I mean, because it says I must fight to protect the prince, but as their lord, I must ensure my people's safety. So I think that this response here would be against Prince Roland, right? Because it says, I must fight to protect the prince, but as their lord, I must ensure my people's safety. Which means that he would be valuing the people's safety more than Roland, right? Oh my gosh, what do I do here? My gut instinct is to but if we do nothing to stop them, many will lose their lives. I mean, we've already fought against many Esfrosti soldiers, but at the end of the day, we have no idea what we're up against. Oh my gosh. But I feel like, I don't know. Either one of these responses feels like it could potentially be against Roland. But okay. I think what we're going to do in this situation, as Lord of a House, I feel like that this is what I mean, we have to do something. Maybe there's I mean, Anna has an interesting point too. She said that the fortitude of this place, I guess the geography of the lay of the land around the castle might be well protected, but she's saying that from where we are versus where the army is that's approaching, that the land is going to be more benefiting to the army of Esfrost than to us. But I feel like if we do nothing to stop them, people are going to die regardless, and this is what I'm saying. Will Esfrost really stop at just giving away Roland?
Will Frost really stop? Or will they just they're so bloodthirsty. They've already shown that already. They won't stop it, Roland. We have to stop them. That's my ultimate decision. We have to stop them. At all costs.
We cannot hope to win against Frost. But if we do nothing to stop them, many will lose their lives.
Indeed, all paths are fraught with danger. In which case, we ought to choose whichever option ensures our survival. If we live, we can reclaim what we've lost.
So we'd be buying ourselves some time.
As the master of this domain, you and no other must decide how we proceed.
I understand that, Benedict. Prepare the scales of conviction. I would hear everyone's thoughts on the matter.
Whew. Okay. Mental preparation time? Mental preps? Okay, so it seems like in the next episode, we are going to be heading into our second scale choice. I'm going to put some major thought into this, both during and before this vote. And we'll see what path that we want to go with. And it also looks like that we're going to have a character story, so that'll be interesting to see. Maybe we'll get a new recruit to the party. Wow. I am just so fraught with emotion right now, like, it's unreal. I feel both so much emotion and yet so little, because I just feel so confused and I feel drained. Like, I really do. Not because this game is bad, just because it just seems like every decision, even though it sounds tough, it's only going to get tougher from here. This was Skymer, and I hope that you all have a fantastic day. Bye, guys.